Ryan Poston was born on December 30th, 1982, in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. He attended Indiana University, where he triple majored in history, geography, and political science. He then went to law school at Salmon P. Chase College of Law. After completing his Juris Doctor degree, Poston began working as an attorney in Cincinnati, Ohio. In 2011, Poston, who was 28 years old at the time, met 19-year-old Shayna Hubers on Facebook. Hubers was friends with Poston's cousin, Carissa Carlisle. Poston and Hubers began dating soon after. At the time that they began dating, Hubers was a psychology student at the University of Kentucky. She was pursuing a master's degree in school counseling. Poston had just gotten out of a serious long-term relationship, and his cousin Carissa thought that talking to Hubers would help him get over the breakup. Most women considered Ryan to be the total package. He was good-looking, successful, and very intelligent. It was said that when he would walk into a room, that women would flock to him. He was charismatic, and loved to talk politics and current events. He also had a love for guns, and was an avid gun collector. Shayna was known to have genius-level intelligence, and breezed through her classes, getting all A's. She sung in a choir, took acting classes, and modeled on the side. She was referred to by many as the pretty and smart girl. She received many awards and accolades. She was extremely competitive, often pushing herself to be the best, and did not accept defeat. She always had to win. She was used to always getting her way, and could not accept rejection. It has been said that she could never handle breakups very well. The couple reportedly had a volatile relationship, and broke up several times over an 18-month period. Shayna often felt threatened by Ryan's ex-girlfriend, and would often put their friends on the spot by asking strange questions such as, "Do you know that I am with Ryan now?" And, "Am I more attractive than Ryan's ex?" If Ryan had other female friends around, Shayna would cling to him, and act very cold to them. Their relationship was very up and down. It was fueled with jealousy, cheating from both sides, and short breakups. It has been said from friends and family that Shayna was very possessive and needy. She would frequently show up to his apartment and law office unannounced, and would refuse to leave. She would often sign into his social media accounts, and message and delete all of his female friends. Ryan's friends and family were starting to become concerned with Shayna's obsession with him. Ryan opened his own practice in the spring of 2012, and decided to fulfill his dream of providing legal help to those that could not afford it. He was super focused on growing his firm, but became miserable in his relationship with Shayna, which was now toxic. They fought and argued frequently, and Shayna's obsessive behavior was now becoming disturbing. Ryan often told his family and friends that Shayna is the craziest girl that he has ever met, and that he is starting to get scared of her. He said that every time that he would break up with her, that she would cry and make him feel bad, so that they would get back together. Shayna complained to the neighbor that she would clean, cook, do the laundry, and walk his dogs, and that he still did not seem to want to be with her. She also complained that he was verbally and physically abusive. She claimed that he told her that she needed to lose weight and get plastic surgery. Ryan was currently going through stress with work and a lawsuit with his former law partner, and was growing very frustrated with his and Shayna's hot and cold relationship. These stressors were taking a huge toll on him. On October 1st, 2012, Ryan took Shayna to the gun range with him. She texted her friend the following: "When I go to the shooting range with Ryan tonight, I want to turn around and shoot him, and kill him, and play like it is an accident." Their arguments and fights continued, and Ryan was at his wit's end. He started spending more time at work, and tried to distance himself from Shayna. He started to talk to other women. Shayna didn't know, but she continued to bother Ryan with her stalker-like behavior. She would send hundreds of text messages, and would call his work 50 to 100 times. She would then call the receptionist if he didn't answer. If that didn't work, she would show up to the office unannounced, and refuse to leave. On October 11th, 2012, Shayna joined Ryan and his parents for dinner and to watch the presidential debate. After the dinner, Ryan spoke privately to his father and told him that he was going to end things for good with Shayna due to her obsessive behavior. After the dinner, Ryan and Shayna went back to his place, where Ryan informed Shayna that he would not be able to see her that weekend. She became irate. She once again refused to leave. She complained that she was anxious, sick, and couldn't sleep. She then called her mother, who drove 80 miles to Ryan's condo, and spent the night. On October 12th, Ryan woke up to find Shayna's mother asleep in the living room. Shayna was now complaining of chest pains, and asked Ryan if he could go to the emergency room with her. He refused, so she left with her mother. After they left, she texted Ryan throughout the day with updates about her hospital visit. She claimed to have gotten an EKG, and referred to a specialist. Ryan did not respond to any of the text messages. Ryan had just begun to talk to another woman on Facebook. Her name is Audrey Bolte. She was former Miss Ohio, and Miss USA runner-up. They had an arrangement to meet at a local bar later that evening. Shayna denies knowing this, but considering that she was always hacking into his Facebook account, it is fair to say that she's seen this conversation and knew. In fact, Shayna had just friended Audrey on Facebook 2 days prior. She also spent a bit of time researching her online. Shayna became desperate, and contrary to what Shayna told Ryan about going to the emergency room, she actually went shopping with her mother. She tried to gain sympathy from Ryan by Googling symptoms of high blood pressure and heart disease, so that she could sound believable. She even Googled the names of medications so that it would sound like she knew what she was talking about. Ryan was excited about his upcoming date, and told coworkers how he was really looking forward to it. Ryan had a concealed carry permit, and had a habit of coming home from work and laying his gun on the table. Sometime around 8 o'clock that evening, Shayna showed up to Ryan's apartment unannounced. At 8:54 a 911 call came into the police department. It was Shayna. She called in claiming that she shot and killed him self-defense. When the police arrived at 9 p.m., they found Ryan slumped over on the floor, under his table. Shayna was taken to the police station for questioning, where she was read her Miranda rights, and requested a lawyer. However, she talked. And talked. And talked a lot. She talked for the next 3 hours. She talked so much that the officers took shifts to relieve each other for breaks of her crazy and bizarre ramblings. The officers reported that she was making strange noises. She would force herself to fake cry, and as soon as they would leave the room, she would stop completely. The officers said it was like a flipped switch. She was also singing Amazing Grace, and was heard saying to herself, "I did it. Yes, I did it. I can't believe I did it. And, I am so good at acting." She also described Poston in her ramblings as very vain, and that she had given him the nose job that he always wanted. She made other inappropriate statements such as, "I don't know if anyone will ever want to marry me if they know I killed my boyfriend in self-defense." Shayna was arrested for murder, and was held on a $5 million bond. While Shayna was held at the police station, Audrey sat at the local bar waiting for Ryan to show up. She tried texting him but received no response. She was getting very frustrated and annoyed thinking that he stood her up. Shayna was incarcerated while awaiting trial, and entered a plea of not guilty on January 16, 2013. 2.5 years later, Hubers' murder trial began on April 13, 2015. Prosecutors argued that the motive for the murder was that Poston wanted to permanently end their relationship. Defense attorneys continued with their contention that the shooting was in self-defense and that Hubers was a victim of domestic abuse. Both sides used the couple's dramatic text to back their claims. During the trial, Audrey Bolte even took the stand. Neighbors also testified that on the night of the murder, that they recall Shayna only being there for a few moments before hearing 2 loud pops that sounded like fireworks, then hearing 4 more shortly after. Shayna's former cellmate also testified and claimed that Shayna bragged about the murder, and planned to plead insanity. Shayna never took the stand. On April 23, 2015, after 5 hours of deliberation, Shayna Hubers was found guilty, and sentenced to 40 years. The judge told her that he did not believe that she was a victim of domestic violence, and that he should have sentenced her longer. On August 25, 2016, Shayna was granted an appeal overturning her conviction on the basis that one of her jurors withheld a felony conviction. Kentucky law prohibits convicted felons from serving on juries. Hubers' second trial began on August 8, 2018. She took the stand this time, and gave lurid details of her sexual relationship with Poston. The defense built its case around the assertion that Poston was an abusive boyfriend. After 5 hours of deliberation, a jury found Hubers guilty of murder again, but this time she was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole. She is incarcerated at the Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women, and won't be considered for parole until the 2032. Shayna found love again, but in prison. She had a jailhouse ceremony, and married Unique Taylor, a transgendered inmate in 2018. Who spent 14 years in federal custody. That relationship did not last, as they divorced in March of 2019. Shayna stated that her life sentence constituted the marriage as irretrievable. Ryan Poston's family still struggles with their loss, and their lives will never be the same. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to the Felon Files to satisfy your craving for true crime.